Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today is corn processing day. I bought a bunch of corn from Costco, and we've just been doing a bunch of different recipes all day today. And now we are going to try something called soured corn. It is from the Traditionally Fermented Foods by Shannon Stronger. And we're doing this recipe here, the soured corn. This recipe is super simple and it's pretty straightforward, self-explanatory, whatever you want to call it. So all we're gonna do, we have this jar here. The recipe calls to put it in like a mason jar and weigh it down. I don't think it can do that. Like, it's corn. I don't understand how you can weigh it down with a glass weight. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna use my flip top jar with the ring on there with the seal. You can use really any kind of airlock type system would probably work just fine. And so all we're gonna do with this is I'm gonna cut up enough corn to be able to fit into this jar and fill it up, most of the way. How many was that? I think that was 8 ears of corn fit in here pretty easily. So let me wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our brine all mixed up. We've just been kind of waiting. I let the water get a little bit too hot, so we're letting it cool off. And now just making sure that we have enough salt. All we're gonna do with this now, the recipe in here says to add a bell pepper. I don't like bell peppers, so I'm not gonna add it. I'm just gonna do straight corn and nothing else in there. I thought about adding some kind of a heat to it, like some kind of like an actual hot pepper. I don't have any regular hot peppers, and I just don't feel like adding any spices, so I'm not gonna. So all we're gonna do is just fill it up to about that much. And if you have the ability to weigh this down, if you can figure out some way to do that, then this is where you would do that. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to use this flip top jar, and I haven't had any issues with it. I'll let you know if I do have an issue with it. I'm going to be keeping my eye on it very carefully. So now all we're going to do is I'm just going to put it in the room with the rest of my vegetable ferments, and we're going to let it go for, it says 1 to 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, 1 to 2 weeks. And then, so I'm just gonna keep, after a couple of days, I'm gonna start checking on this just to make sure there's no mold forming on top. I'm gonna see how long it takes to actually start to ferment. We'll start to see little bubbles on there, and I'll bring you along and show you pretty much mostly every step of the way. It has been about 7 days since we left our corn to ferment, and so now we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. We used this flip top bottle. I have not opened it even a single time. I've just been, you can see through it, and I had it covered with a heavy cloth so that no light would seep through, and we've just kind of let it ferment. So I'm going to bring you in close so that we can see what this looks like here. You can see there's kind of a separation here. There's the stuff that's floating and the stuff that's sinking here. And it's pretty much the same throughout the whole thing. When I brought it out, it was bubbling a little bit, nothing super crazy, but it definitely had some... I probably got it all out when I was moving it. But, so we're going to open this. Okay, nothing nuts here. Wow. This stuff is, whew, it's powerful smelling. Huh. All right, let's give this a go, shall we? Okay. Try it with a fork. All right. No double dipping, so just gonna try it this once with a fork. There's nothing on top. There's no like calm yeast. There's nothing like that. There is some silk though. Okay. swallow it. So gross. All right, I think 7 days is definitely way too long. It just tastes like, Everclear. Like it tastes like bubbly Everclear that tastes a little bit like corn. Wow. All right, so we're gonna try this again, but not fermenting it quite so long. I'll bring you back when we're ready to taste one that we've not fermented quite so long, because this is just nasty. I think we're gonna have some drunk chickens here in a minute. So it is time for round 2 of trying to get corn to ferment that tastes good. It has been, I don't know exactly how long. I fermented these on, I started these on 10/4. Right now it's 10/20, but I put this in the fridge after about 3 days, and I just haven't had time to actually do anything with it. So we're here today. It was only out for about 3 days, like I said, and the rest of the time it's just been in the nice cool refrigerator. So it might have like slightly increased the flavor on that one, but it wouldn't be a whole lot because it was cold enough to be able to really slow down, almost halt the fermentation process. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna taste test these and see what we have now. A little bit of a air escape there. It's thick. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna use a fork. It got a little bit thick, and if I'm not mistaken, if I would ferment this for another day or two, it would, in my experience, I've had this happen several times when I was making beet kvass, and if I let it go for a couple more days, it just thinned right out. So it doesn't smell weird. There's definitely nothing funny going on top, so even despite the slight thickness and texture, I'm still gonna go ahead and we're gonna try this out, okay? I'm kind of nervous. Last time it was so gross. Oh, I hope it's not that gross. Okay. Only use the fork once, never double dip or ferment. So this tastes very mildly like alcohol. It's very mild. It's barely noticeable. It doesn't taste anything like corn. I guess you could say it tastes about as much like corn as sauerkraut tastes like cabbage. The fermentation process definitely changed the flavor of this. It's really good. I bet this would be delicious on top of a salad. This would be really good on top of maybe like a chili dish or some kind of a soup. What else could you put this on? You could make a dip out of this. You could add it to any kind of like a creamy, like a sour cream cheese, salsa, so many different things that you could do with this. You could cook it if you want to. It would still have some of its benefits, especially if you have troubles digesting corn. You can do this with it, and oftentimes it will remove a lot of the roosters that keep crowing. A lot of times this will remove a lot of the digestive issues that people have with a lot of different foods. If you ferment it, it makes it much more easy to digest, and it makes the nutrients much more readily available for you to actually assimilate into your body. Plus, on top of that, it has the added benefits of all the microbes that go down. But if you cook it, you don't have the microbes, but you have all those other benefits. You just don't have anything. It's not going to aid in your building of your microbiome. My roosters are really going crazy out there. I'm so sorry. They really don't understand that I'm filming right now, do they? But anyways, I'm gonna be back in a minute. Wait for this round of crowing to go away. There are so many different ways that you can use this ferment. It is so delicious. You should definitely give this one a try. Just make sure, obviously, that you do not over ferment it, or it will just turn into straight alcohol. It is just wretched beyond a couple of days. So be careful with that. I learned my lesson on that one, and I'm sharing that lesson with you in case you're curious. This is a ferment that you want to make sure you're paying very close attention to. I know a lot of my other ferments, I tend to kind of space them and forget about them, but anything that has a lot of sugar in it, like corn or fruits or things like that, you really should pay more attention to it. Even the fruit ferments I have forgotten about for a good amount of time, and not a good amount, like a week or two, and it was just fine. So that's why I figured this one would be fine last time, but it's not. If you're fermenting corn, be careful with it. It will go quick. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I hope you give this ferment a try. It is definitely worth your time, and there are so many different culinary uses you could put this towards. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. And if you want to see more videos like this, fermentation, as well as canning, dehydrating, freezing, and even the occasional gardening and chicken video, be sure to give this channel a subscription. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, something along those lines. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.